How do we start it though? Just like that, hey? Hey, Daryl.
Yeah. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Daryl. Good to see you again. We're here. I don't know if anybody noticed or if you haven't watched our first episode yet, you can go back and see it. But when we were done
Yeah.
recording, Daryl had mentioned that it kind of looked like I might have looked like a kind of Disney character there with the way I had my discs set up. So in honor of that, I've come prepared with
There you
my
go.
R2D2 ears
That's
that I
almost,
picked up.
that's almost perfect.
It act-
They look like they're just sitting on the shelf right now.
well, I'm not going to wear this the whole episode. I just thought you might get a kick out of that.
Okay.
Now, I know I threw this on you. We didn't discuss this, so put on your
Yeah.
thinking cap here and shoot some
Yeah.
holes in my idea.
The bit of a pause there was me taking a second to try and think the pros and the cons.
And all you can
I,
think of is how wonderful the idea is, right?
yeah, we'll end the episode there.
Yeah, no.
Or should I say, it could be partly my catchphrase? You know that I like your idea, but you're wrong.
Ouch.
I
So
don't know. I don't necessarily love the idea. I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm just
okay.
trying to think why I don't like it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Chain Out, the disc golf podcast for Canada. Nope, I'm not doing that one. I got lost.
I could feel you were like searching for words.
I'm like, I went way beyond the simple thing.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again. 5 seconds. It'll just be simpler. I think what it is I don't know what
Episode 3?
it's episode 3, but do I want to call it the Chain Out or Welcome to Chain Out podcast? Episode 3, I think.
Chain Out Podcast.
Yeah, okay. Because that's how we've got it labeled. So
Yeah.
with you, I'm Jeremy, and with me as always is Daryl.
Hello, everybody. How's it going, Jeremy?
Going well, Daryl. How about you? How you feeling, buddy?
I don't know. Can you tell? My voice is. I'm not. I got that bit of a sexy Barry White voice going on, I think.
Oh,
Or
you
just
say sexy Barry White. I was thinking maybe a little Phoebe Buffet smelly cat
Phoebe.
voice there.
Yeah.
Podcasting energy that we've got is like a healing energy. That's what I'm
There
going to
you
say.
go. Yeah. Channeling my inner Phoebe Buffet.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thanks everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Until then, till then, Smelly Cat says, chain out.
Chain out.
There for it. But for me, I think what the difference is that if I have an errant shot at Nor'Wester, I'm gonna hit a car. A car is pretty strong. It's gonna my disc is gonna bounce off it. If I have an errant shot at the hills, and
I know
hit
where
a
you're
person,
going.
it's gonna bounce off them, but it could do a lot more damage hitting a person. And I feel that those tight
Right.
lines, I'd rather go onto a road and hit a car or hit a truck or something like that than hit an actual person. So that's what I'm gonna use as my deciding factor of why I'd prefer to play Nor'Wester. Plus, Nor'Wester is gonna have the longer distance, all the things that we
Right.
talked about than the hills. But one of those things is I'd rather hit a car than hit a person.
That's a fair.
Hey everyone, welcome to Chain Out Podcast. I'm Jeremy, and with me as always is your favorite co-host, Daryl.
Favorite co-host?
Why, thank you, Daryl and Jeremy. I'm so happy to be on Chain Out Podcast with you and glad that you were able to invite me. I'm really excited to tell you a lot about I'm not the guest that you were expecting to have on the show tonight? How did you know?
That's the thing. So I had a huge mix, a
Yeah.
whole bunch of different brands, but then I hold a Comet, and then I hold a Buzz, and then I hold a Wasp, or I hold whatever. Name your EMAC Truth or whatever.
Yeah.
They all feel a little bit differently in your head. It's not the same disc, even if it's virtually the same disc. If you hold an EMAC Truth and a Buzz SS or whatever
Yeah.
you consider to be the same as that, it's not gonna in your head it's not going to be the same disc. So
Yeah.
Right.
That's such an interesting way to look at it, Jeremy. I've never thought about that. I mean, I know I've spoken. Obviously, Tim said that at one point he had 7 Nate Sexton Firebirds sit in his bag, and they kind of explain it. Yeah, obviously, the more beat in the disc gets, the more understable it gets. So that's why they have that. But until Brendan just said it, then like not necessarily having the disc because it beats in, but just having it because it feels the same. You've got the same disc in your hand, you're throwing it, and it's that's kind of just has hit me there for a second. So it feels like I've just leveled up in my disc golf knowledge now. But that's the reason for having multiple discs of the same, because of the feel.
yeah, like I'm not trying to get you to stop buying discs. I just want you to buy more of the exact same disc.
Yeah,
And then if it's
go.
wrong,
Yeah.
you just have to buy more of a different disc.
You want to hear something? I hear there's a secret word on the street. I don't know nothing. But I hear the secret word is horse feeder. But you didn't hear it from me. Yeah, no. So who knows what's going to happen in the spring and summer? Maybe we might go down to 1 every 2 weeks. Maybe we'll
Don't
the quality
talk
won't.
like that.
Who knows what's going to happen? I'm just preempted. I'm just kind of giving ourselves a barrier. What do they say? Under promise and over deliver.
Over deliver. I'm just
There
going
you
to
go.
over deliver all the time. You
Yeah,
like the
no, you-
weekly? We're giving you the weekly.
Yeah, you don't have to episode. All right, let's do it. What have you been up to? People don't want to hear our woes of editing. They just want the final product, and this is the final product. So, what have you been up to?
It's easy for you to say, hey, yeah, I'm cool if women play. Oh, it's a women's event. I'm going to go out to this other course and play that weekend. Well, why wouldn't you just give that weekend up and support them?
That's such a good point.
I was thinking
Absolutely.
that same thing, Jeremy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I know
Well,
Kristen
it makes
Swirls
total sense
has
as well.
Kristen Swirls, I think, has an event coming up, right?
She's
How
up,
many men-
She's up first.
yeah.
She's up first. How many men are going to step up and spot? Like when I was in Cranbrook for Crush in 2022, we were flooded. Like the men were running the raffles, they were running the check-in, they were giving out, like passing the prizes to the tournament director, they were spotting. It was insane. Like we had so many men out there doing so many great things for the sport. It was just awesome to see the support. I had Crush here. We had guys coming out. We had families coming out. The moms were playing, and the sons and husbands were helping. And I think it's really important. It's very easy to say I'm okay with women playing. It's a little harder to give up your time to support women playing, and that's what speaks volumes. That's the true show of how much you really want them there. Does that? I guess.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not calling anybody out in particular. I'm just saying from personal experience and noticing the necessity of needing men, especially, to walk the walk. Just don't talk the talk.
Well,
I feel like that was just a light bulb moment that you just mentioned there, because when you were saying it, in my mind, I was thinking, well, it's a women's event, so they don't want that masculinity involved in it because. Hey everybody, welcome to the Chain Out Fantasy League Season 2, Episode 3. I am your host, apparently, Daryl, joined by my ever-gracious co-host, Jeremy. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really liking this co-host gig. It's pretty easy. I
Pretty
can
laid
just
back
sit
over
back here, let the host take care of things.
Yeah, I mean, the pay's not great.
Yeah, I thought it was, we used to always say we were just two co-hosts, but now that it's taken over and you're the host, it's a lot of heavy is the burden. Or something like
that, yeah. So how have you been?
Been great.
Did you just enjoy the episode that we just did? For those who don't know, we just did the Chain Out podcast, episode 83 with Daredevil Discs. What a great episode.
Yeah, we had Mike Seavey and we had Patrick Campbell join us, and so the two of them, Daredevil Discs being a Canadian disc golf company manufacturing discs in Canada. It was great to talk to them. And it's one of those ones where, as you were saying, is that you weren't as familiar with them. And now we have a way better understanding, and there's a lot of love out there for them too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Very supportive in the chat.
Yeah.
So this is our Patreon episode.
Yes.
This is what we do after the Chain Out podcast. Sometimes it's around the basket, but when we have a Canadian A tier happening,
Mhm.
we switch it over to our fantasy league, and that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to be doing the larger than life event happening up in the Yukon Territory. But if you want to be part of the live Patreon episodes, subscribe to our Patreon. Head over to Patreon, Chain Out Podcast, patreon.com/Chain Out Podcast, and sign up for any tier, including free. You'll get a link where you can join live and you can be involved in the chat.
Yeah. And then after that, we'll put this episode out on YouTube, and you'll be watching it after it's been recorded. So you can't help influence our picks and add your witty comment. You can still add your witty comments and we'll still respond. We just can't respond to them live.
Exactly. So we always have a special guest on these episodes. We always have my team, your team, and then we get a special team guest on. And what better person to have on this week than somebody who, I'm not going to lie, there was a little bit of a time where we had a bit of a cuddle.
What?
Yeah.
You had a little bit of a cuddle.
We were waiting for someone to take a photograph, and, we had an embrace, and Chance actually said, I don't mind, I'll cuddle all night. So I thought that was kind of funny. Let's get him on. Can we call him Mr. MVP?
Yeah, sure. Of course we can.
There you go.
I've been called worse.
Chance, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. We're riding that high on podcast night.
Yeah. And I think Daryl's got the double high going on, because not only is he riding the high from podcast night, but I think you're still riding the high from the Smith Lake Farms weekend that both of you were just at.
Yeah, well, I attended. Chance was running.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone who was there is riding that high still. I'm getting so many messages and so many tags and pictures and videos, and everyone just seemed to have such a blast, which is, a bit of a relief, but also just I'm so proud and so happy that everyone had a good time. It sounds like everybody wants us to do it again next year, so hope we can do that.
Yeah. When I ran my first, I TD'd my first event this year, just a 3-disc challenge sort of thing. There's all that build up of getting it ready, and are people going to show up? Are people going to like it? Did I forget this? Did I forget that? But then once everybody was driving off after the second round, there's that kind of a wash that goes over you. It's like, okay, I can breathe again now. Have you had that yet from the weekend? Like, where was the point where you realized, okay, maybe it was before the event started. Maybe it's kind of like, okay, it is what it is. It's happening, and there's no, we're rolling now.
Well, no, it definitely wasn't that. It was stressful all the way up to it and through it, and it would have been much worse if Clea wasn't doing so much of the heavy lifting and all the volunteers, and really it ran extremely smoothly. But the stress, I kept wanting to do more and trying to make sure I hadn't missed anything, and that just never went away the entire weekend. Doubles was a lot of fun towards the end, and then but even once it was over, I had to pack up, and then we caught the ferry that night and headed home, and I think it wasn't till the next day that I finally started to feel like I had relaxed. But then already I'm trying to think of, like, should we send out a questionnaire about what people enjoyed and what they didn't, and how can we improve it for next year? And Clea and I are going to chat this week and try and make some improvements and see what we can do, and if we're going to do it. And it sounds like we are, so we'll see.
That's good. Yeah, I've already had messages from people when I got back, like, oh, are you back? How was it? Are they doing it next year? And I'm like, yeah, I think they've got to be doing it next year. You've done it 2 years in a row now, and not that I wasn't there last year, and I don't want to speak on last year, but I think you outdone yourself this year from last year. So
last year it was, when Tom's in town, we try and pack our week as much as possible and hit as many stops as we can normally. and that was one that I just really wanted him to go up and see how special Smith Lake was. And so we kind of put this together last minute and did something fun with the local community last year. And then I think that's probably where the idea to do it like a full weekend with anyone who could come and book out that site for all the cabins on the ocean and like really crank it up. I think last year was kind of just a test to see if we could do something special. And this year, yeah, it far exceeded any of my expectations. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
I think everyone who came is going to want to come back, and anyone they talk to is going to hope that we open up enough spots so that they can come too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have Chris in the chat, also known as Graybeard. Sounds like you're getting your voice back because at the end there, when you were giving your farewell speech,
Yeah,
it was disappearing on you.
there was a lot of hooting and hollering and a lot of yelling and corralling people and yeah, he was commenting on how sexy my voice was, so thankfully it's
we
finally
like was
coming
it
back.
what we like to call the Phoebe Smelly Cat voice? Is
Yeah,
that where we're
something
at?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
we know it's BC weather, but from us, people who don't live in BC, it's always hot in BC whenever we go there on vacations and things like that. So, but we really did have great weather the whole weekend. It was
It
almost
was
too
perfect.
hot towards the end because, like, when we were doing the putting or waiting for doubles, we all kind of went into the putting. Sorry, we went into the barn just to keep out of the shade there. But gorgeous weather all weekend.
Yeah, it was perfect. I mean, I don't really burn very easily, so I can't speak for everybody, but I got a nice tan. I think my wife burnt a little bit, but she burns all the time.
Right.
But for the most part, I think it was just like really nice and sunny and warm and just enough of a breeze that it wasn't too hot. And it was kind of perfect. Really, like, I can't think of anything that I could have wished for
Yeah.
the first year to have it go any better.
Yeah, like you said, if you're gonna send anything out for feedback, I don't know what you're gonna get giving you anything that that could have been improved because like from my side point of it, when as a person that just showed up, like the email sent out in the beginning was very defined of what the schedule was. We knew where to go. We arrived. Everything went off without a hitch. That ended. We were told, okay, now you can go practice. We had a lot of area to go and practice in. We were told when to come back. We came back. Another event, clinic happened. There was no milling around waiting to see what happened, or people didn't know where to go. All those sort of things. The course itself was very well laid out. It was a good flow to that. It ended right back at the barn again. The barn always had beer.
Oh.
There was never a point where we were just kind of standing around shrugging our shoulders thinking, well, what do we do now? There's nothing for 2 hours. I don't know where to go. Everything was catered for. There was never a gap.
You can't think of anyone that maybe should have been there with you?
Oh, well, definitely going forward. I mean, I think somebody's as green with envy as the disc that they're about to show in a second.
Yeah.
But I just want to give a shout out in the chat here because we've got a few people. Sonia says, thank you for the forehand lessons because that was something that I wasn't expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But we had Nate Sexton and Thomas Gilbert who were kind of leading the charge. Chance and Sophia off to the side, commenting as well and elaborating on things. But we got a forehand lesson from Thomas and Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went off to practice, and Chance comes down to the practice area, sees Sonia kind of struggling a little bit with her forehand, just decides to give her a 15-minute private lesson on how to work on her forehand.
And she was making big improvements right away. It was impressive. I love seeing that when you can give someone a little tweak here and there and have them reap the benefits right away. It was fun to see.
Yeah. Well, and as you're saying too there, Chance, like right from the start, I didn't have FOMO because that's fear of missing out, right? Like I had like IKIMO, I think, which is I know I'm missing out is what it was. I knew it was just wasn't happening that year. And but as a benefit and a bonus, and I want to say thank you to Daryl, of course, and to yourself, is that you got us some discs in our hands, and I'm a big MVP Axiom thrower. So we have the Tempo signed
and we've got that one. We're going to actually give that one away on the podcast when
Nice.
we get to 500 subscribers. It's going to be part of our big prize pack. And then I got my new range, and then I got my new balance as well. And I love all of those discs. You pick the right discs. They're the 3 kind of new ones, the newest ones to the collection. And yeah, Eagle, whatever, Eagle range. I've got a Chance Dad range. Flying Cthulhu,
Exactly.
baby Cthulhu's. That's what I needed.
There you go.
So thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, and so Daryl, when we get going on this one too, so as you know, that's the Smith Lake Farms. That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into the larger than life. Now, the one thing we have to do, it's been a bit of a break since the DF Open, which was our last tournament we did.
Yeah.
But you know, we're back.
Let's
get to it. Now, do we need to do you have a recap? What do you
Yeah, we can do a recap here.
Okay.
So, Chance and anybody that doesn't know the rules and how we do it this season, I'll just quickly bring it up on the screen here. So, the point scoring system is that we pick 3 MPO, 3 FPO. When the field doesn't allow us to pick 3 FPO, we kind of modify the MPO. So, in this event, we'll be picking 5 MPOs and 1 FPO. Now, the point system is that you'll get 5 points for a win. You'll get 3 points if any of your picks are on a podium. 1 point if any of your picks are in the top 10. The new things that I've added this year is you'll get 15 points for an eagle and 10 points for an ace, because I was told that
was
eagles
much in contention when you did that.
It was, but eagles are more rare than aces apparently. But so far this season, it doesn't seem like that. Yeah, I know.
That is not true.
I've spoken to
'Cause an
people that have
eagle-
like
An
20
ace
or so.
is an eagle.
Yes, exactly.
So there's no way it could
But-
be more rare.
You know what?
Hang on.
Daryl tried something new, Chance, and he hears
Hang on.
about it every time he puts the point.
What do you
But-
get points for both?
You've got him speechless.
When I was talking to somebody, they said they. Okay, now you say it that way. I never thought about it that way, and I live up to the name Team Shambles. Because I thought I was mainly thinking about ace or eagles on par 5s and par 4.
Right.
Like if you get a 2 on a par 4 or 3 on a par 5, that's an eagle. But I did not take into consideration that a 1 on a par 3 is actually an eagle. So
Well, the one
that
thing we'll
might
say,
be-
Chance, was last year with the scoring system without those eagle and ace points, it was really easy to fall behind and never have really a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
But now, you know, at the DF Open, I had Thomas on my team, and he dropped an eagle down, and that just helped, you know, even with wherever my other places were, I got an extra 15 points. So I'm pretty happy, you know, no matter how he figured it out, it's working out pretty well for me.
Yeah.
That definitely might change a couple of my picks. So
There you go.
Okay, well, at the point, let's give us a little bit of a rundown of where we're at right now. So, points wise, Team Guest is in the lead with 57 points. Team Shambles is in second place with 54, and Team J Powell's bringing up the rear with 51, but only 6 points from beginning to end. And I think this point last year, it was a lot wider of a gap at this point. So,
yeah,
like you said, that's the
close.
point. Yeah, the points this year are keeping it close.
Mhm.
As for tournament wins, Team Guest has 2 wins. Jeremy has 1 win, and surprisingly, Team Shambles has no wins this year
yeah.
because I ran away with it last year. I'm going to keep saying that.
You're living in the past.
And then we also put out our teams on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll get people to vote on them to decide who they think has the strongest team. Team J-Pow with 2 wins and Team Guest with 1. And again, Team Shambles with no wins. So people are not having any faith in Team Shambles this year.
But, you know, things can change.
It can. It's still early on. We're only on event 4 because we did 2 in 1 episode.
Yeah. Well, in our last, in the chat right now, Kevin King is in there, and he was our last Team Guest picker, I guess, or what would you call it? Team Guest?
He was on Team Guest. He was
Yeah.
our last guest, yeah.
And it was Team Kingdom at that point, and he was able to hold on to that lead. Before that was Matt Lysak, and it was Team Who Dis. So now we're...
Well, just before you get onto that, speaking of Kevin King, he has a comment here in the chat. He says, Eagles are more rare than aces. One of the biggest lies I've heard in disc golf. So
So you're gonna have to go back to whatever episode that was, because I think it was actually talked about in an episode. Maybe
what's that?
the Eagles versus Aces thing,
Was it?
or maybe you were just
Maybe I was out.
pontificating one evening.
Yeah, maybe. But without further ado, I don't think we've got anything else.
Well, we need Chance's team name.
Well, we can get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a team name, Chance?
Team Money Disc.
Team Money Disc.
Money Disc. So not Money Ball. We got Money
No, of
Disc.
course
You've
not.
been really cracking the code. I would say that's the thing. It's always for me is keeping up with Chance when we've had him on the show.
Mhm.
He's got a really high intelligence, so he'll drop those sleepers out there,
Right.
and you got to be paying attention if you're gonna catch them. Otherwise, they're just gonna go
Under
past
the
you.
radar.
Yeah. So with that being said, we'll take a look at this. What we're going to do is we'll pick our 5 MPOs. We'll pick one FPO. You don't have to pick them in any specific order. You want to start with your FPO. You want to mix it in the middle. It's wherever you think is going to be best for your team. What we're going to do as well is we'll do a snake draft. So first, second, third, second, first,
Yeah.
second, third. We'll
And I
try to
guess-
keep that straight. I think the one time we made a mistake on that, but
Well, in the previous episodes, whoever came last got to decide the order.
oh, is that how we're doing it this time?
Are we sticking to that?
I think if we set the bar that way, then we probably should. Although
Were you
there is,
trying to skirt over that.
I wanted to flip a 3-sided coin, is what I wanted to do, but
Well, I don't know. I mean, that is how we did it.
yeah,
Are we
I
going to
think
stick to
we're
it,
good.
or were we going to? I don't mind changing the rules per event.
No, I
to
don't
make
know.
me
Are,
lose.
are you okay, Chance, with that? It's you
Whoever
know,
comes
I'm
last
happy to do
normally
it
pick.
however you'd like.
okay.
I do
so it
have
is
an
Team
affinity
Shambles.
for rolling dice, though, so it's hard not to pick.
Yes.
that.
But there, the smallest we could ever get is a 4-sided dice, right? Because it's either a coin or
No, you can get a triangle.
yeah, it's a 4-sided. A
All
triangle.
right.
Oh, yeah,
Since
yeah,
you
yeah,
called
yes.
me out on being a big nerd about rules and stuff, technically a coin is 3-sided.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Yeah,
true.
there is an edge. But do you want to call edges? You can have edges, okay? So
I don't want to kind of go off topic too much.
sure, well that's what we do.
And I'm not going to delve into it. This is just a little bit of a tidbit for another reason for you to go back to Smith Lake Farms next year.
Hmm.
But it was something did come up about Chance and his board games and his love of I'll just say mantras that happens when he plays disc golf. And
Oh.
if you want to know,
Okay.
you'll have to attend.
Well, and-
People who know.
And only because Chance, because you're on the same team as well. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I can't believe how involved Big Germ is with Wingspan. Like he's Wingspan, Wormspan, Finspan. He's with them all. I'm like, I'm a big Wingspan guy, but I couldn't believe that he's like right in there.
He was telling me at Cascade we did our practice round together, and
Okay.
he couldn't stop talking about Finspan. Apparently, that's like all he's been playing this year, basically.
Well, I have to check it out because I have all of the Wingspans. But yeah, you send me down a board game
Nice.
path, and I'm sure
I know.
same with
Well,
Chance, we could go on for a while.
exactly. I just wanted to bring it up because I know it was a topic that you guys had in common.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so
Sure.
Daryl, yes, we've decided you've called
So-
edges of
Team
the
Dunwich, I
3-sided
like that.
coin.
So I get to pick the order.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to say that Team Shambles goes first,
Okay.
and then. So who gets the second pick? I'm gonna say Team JPAL goes second,
Okay.
and Team Guest can go third, fourth.
So you've got the swing at the back there. You get the 2 picks to start. So
All right.
now let me just do a little bit of information for anybody listening who's not as familiar with the larger than life event.
Yep, go for it.
So this event's run by Patreon member and the tournament director Ryan Norke, as well as his partner Bree Levia. So they've been running this event. I think they've been doing it a number of times, but last year was the first time it was an A tier.
Mhm.
And it's also the Yukon Territorials. It's not just a tournament. There is a weekend tournament, but it's a whole week of events. Glenn Whitlock went up there last year. They learned how to play double disc court and had a lot of fun doing that. It's happening on the longest day of the year, right at that time. So you get to play pretty much. You can't even play a glow round, I don't think, at this time
I
of
think
year
you'll
up
be
in
able to, no.
up in Whitehorse. So it is up in Whitehorse, Yukon Territory. What else do I have here? Last year it was an exciting tournament. Luke Levesque took an early lead in the MPO side, but experienced some bad luck, and at the same time, Eden Moose Pretzel Badajoz came out and started getting better and better each round and swooped in and took the win.
Go back and watch the coverage from Park Pro just to see what happened in that final round on the back nine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Daryl and I watched that, and you've got to watch the last 9 for sure just to see. It was tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eden took the trophy back to Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where it sits.
And
right
he'll
now.
be there this year, so he's bringing it back.
He's bringing it back. And then on the FPO side, Christy Lee from Victoria, BC took the win. Last year, there was a total of 55 players who competed in the event. It looks like numbers are slightly down with 46 confirmed players. We are ready to go. Let's get this show going, Daryl.
Let's do it. Okay. Let me bring up my...
Oh, our screen. Yes, I forgot about this new screen that he's got. We're going to
Yeah.
be Hollywood Squares here,
Hopefully.
Chance.
This should work. Ah, there we
Oh.
go. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, so Team JPAL, or sorry, Team, let me just move these screens around. Come over here. Okay, with my first pick, I wrote this one down
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to give it the full credit that it deserved.
Okay.
Oh, where did it go?
See, this is where the shambles starts already there, Chance.
There we go.
Is there
So
a
my-
30-second? Oh, okay.
Plus a 45-second extra time he
I
wants,
can
or
do that
however
once.
that works.
Yeah. So this person is from Toronto, Ontario.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Apparently, this person is 10-13 rated.
Okay.
41 career wins, including 4 this season. My friend, who I was just hanging out with this past weekend at Smith Lake Farm, Team Shambles would like to pick Thomas Gilbert.
Big
pick.
shocker right out of the gate.
Yeah, I can't believe it. How did you come up
He's a
with that
sleeper
one?
pick. I was thinking nobody would pick him.
The dark horse.
Yeah. The fact that he's played 2 A tiers this year in the Foxwood Open and the Dieppe Open, and he's won them both. And after this, he's going down to TCO, which he's won 3 times. Yeah.
He's a bit of a good pick. Yeah.
There you go. I can
That-
see why you might have picked first.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, that leads me. Now we're going to get to where I've done my research here, and Team JPOW stepping up
Mhm.
to the table. And my player that I'm going to pick for my first pick is from Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
This is a player that I saw at Spring Runoff recently down in Lethbridge, where he placed 3rd. He then went on to place 2nd at Big Bear. We had a chance to talk with his mom, found out that not only, just a whole good family, good kid going out to Ontario for some schooling, 983 rated Connell McLeod will be on Team JPOW. That'll be our first pick.
There you go. It's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
So Chance, it's going to throw it to you, and you get to go with 2 picks here.
Yeah, you didn't pick who I thought you were going to pick, so you kind of threw me for a loop there.
Yeah.
Uh,
That
I
wasn't
tend
my
to
next
do
pick
that at
either.
times.
Yeah. He definitely likes to throw these curveballs.
Apparently. So I'm going to have to go with Eden. Not only did he win last year,
Mhm.
but he's also rated higher now than he was then. So he knows the course. He's the defending champ. I think it would be silly not to take him as my first pick.
Yeah.
No, a great pick, and such a great person too. We, after our A tier shows, after these fantasy ones, once the A tier event happens, we bring on the tournament director and we bring on the MPO and the FPO winners. So Christy Lee joined us and Eden joined us last year. Such a great guy. Yeah, really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. And doing a ton of disc golf. So Moose Pretzel, where that comes from, is he actually has a course on his property called the Moose Pretzel. And it's because there's moose all over the course and the shape of it kind of is like a pretzel. And he's got the best dreads too, hey? The best long hair.
Oh, yeah.
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 And then
Yeah.
my second pick, I think, is also pretty easy for me. I'm going with Luke Levesque. He almost took it down last year. And since you're counting eagles and aces, I mean, he might just go for that anyway in the tournament. So I think
Yeah.
there's a good chance he's going to get more, maybe as many as Thomas, if not more. He's young, he's aggressive. I think he's going to get me a lot of points.
Yeah. Well, and with the grenades that Luke throws, and even if you watch that coverage, some of the lines he was throwing, they're lines that, well, Thomas is up there this year. So now there's 2 people who can throw those lines. But even then, Luke has got quite the bomb. So
The only concern that I have with Luke is that we spoke to him, we interviewed him a few weeks ago.
mm-hmm.
Is that he's saying that at the moment he's running pretty hot and cold. He showed us some scorecards where his rating was 700, and then in a couple where they were like 980, 1,000 or over 1,000 rated, I think. So hopefully you get him on a good day.
Well,
I
we
think
talked.
his ceiling's as high as anyone's, but he's
Yeah.
just not super consistent yet. But that's fine. He's gonna
Yeah.
get there.
Well, and when we did your origin story back when you were on the show, we used the Jekyll and Hyde origin story for you because kind of go on that mad scientist vibe. And I think, yeah, like Lucas said, is that, you know, if things aren't going well and he's not really got a chance anymore, he goes into fun mode. And then fun mode is acing things. And that's where, like you said, some of these Eagles and stuff, they could come out normally, but, you know, he could not place in the top 10 and then still get chance 2-3 Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he's playing his best. He's still gonna get as many Eagles as anyone else.
Well, he can't really get that many because from what I heard is they're really, really rare. They don't come around very often.
Even more rare than aces, I've heard.
All right, so that's going to bring it back to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head down and I would like to pick up my FPO player a little bit early here.
Ooh.
So I'm going to take a look and I got some inside baseball or inside money disc type knowledge here, kind of like your team over there. I got a person who just placed 4th at spring runoff, has so much positive energy, and my conversations with her just totally vibing about their first trip up to Whitehorse from Edmonton, Alberta, 850 rated. Kristen Swirls will be joining Team JPOW.
Interesting.
Good old K Swirls.
I'll let you know she was my first FPO pick, but I think you might have gambled a bit early.
Well, I think I'm doing okay. Team JPOW is only 6 points behind in the standings.
In 3rd place.
Yeah.
Let's not forget you are last.
That is true.
Okay, so then that brings it back to me for 2 picks. So, I would like to go for this person who, once I bring up their stats, is from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 2 things I look for in my players when they go up in ratings and when they are winning and playing events. This person just went up 4 points in the recent update. And although I think they're ready for that next level up because they've played a lot of MA1 this year. This is their first event playing in MPO. I'm going to go for Quinn Cochran.
Yes. And Chance, I don't know how much you know about Quinn from being out in Cochrane, but I think the thing that Daryl doesn't realize is that Quinn normally plays MA1, but at this point is MJ15 eligible.
I know.
Oh, did you?
No, I did see that.
Yeah. So is that the ability to play juniors?
Yeah.
But yet went out and won the MA1 division at the Big Bear Classic.
Exactly. That's what I was looking at.
Yeah, I love that both Quinn and Cole are up there this year, and in MPO too. That's awesome. Those 2 are amazing disc golfers.
That's what I like to hear.
Well, are you going to go with, you know how we like to have...
No, I'm not like you, Jeremy. And I know what you're saying. And it would be good to, if you're going to bring in one brother, you may as well bring in the other brother. But I'm not. I'm going to go for somebody that's been playing since 2015. This person is from Whitehorse. Currently 954 rated. Hasn't played as much golf as I would like. They haven't played at all this year and didn't play a lot last year. But they're a person that is obviously from Whitehorse. They know the course. I'm going to go and welcome Alan Hill.
Yeah.
Al Hill.
I have to turn my computer over here, Chance, because it feels like someone's picking my players in order over here.
I got mine in a row right here. Don't accuse me of cheating.
Well, the one thing about Al was last year when he played, he finished 4th.
Yeah.
And he's like a local hero because they were cheering him on more than they were cheering anybody else on that the last hole on this course, Chance, is I don't know if you've seen the coverage or not, but it's quite a downhill bomb that they've got to do. And everybody was crowded around just enjoying and cheering on. So
he's also just one of the nicest guys you could ever meet.
Okay. Yeah. So you've met Al a few times?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit kind of unfair, so I'm just going to bring the chat up because I've been reading the chat here. So Kevin King, right early on at the beginning, I think probably before the first pick even went, kind of put out on the chat that Jamie Roddick is a sleeper that should go early.
Oh.
And then, we picked a few and we picked a few. And then his most recent comment here is Jamie dropping this far in the draft is criminal. You've got a high rated provincial coordinator still on the board.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Well,
just in fairness, I'm not sure if you're all seeing the chat, but I've got it on the screen here, so I got to bring it up.
I do like that.
I'm not trying to I'm not trying to lead the witness. I'm just saying this is what other people are saying.
Well, that's it. In Team Kingdom, they've got a lot of clout when it comes to picking teams. So
yeah.
So we should I'm gonna give that some notice here.
There you go.
Oh, now that's gonna mix up my turns here. Okay, well, you know what?
I didn't want to influence you. I just want to make you available.
You know what, Kevin? I believe in you. I believe that the guests have good advice, and J-Pow is gonna go right for it, and we're not gonna let Jamie slide down any further. His last event was Nationals last year. He's playing LTL, and then he's playing TCO. He has a good run. Like you said, provincial coordinator, territorial coordinator, 968 rated. Welcome to the team, Jamie Roddick.
Two things. One, you're so easily swayed. And two, Kevin follows it up with, but if anyone saw my DF Open picks, you would know not to follow my picks.
Kevin, come on. Stay confident. Stay confident.
You've picked now. That's it. It's too late.
Jamie, welcome to the team. I believe in you.
Nice.
All right, that sends it back over to you, Chance, for 2 picks.
Well, if you're not taking Cole, I'm taking Cole for sure. I think the two of them are interchangeable in their skill level. Either one of them can pop off and have a great tournament. So I think I'm going to take Cole. Plus, he's from Vancouver, so he's basically a local here. Yeah. But really, I think going all the way up there, traveling up for the tournament, he's going to be focused and having a good time. And I think he could get a bunch of eagles too.
There you go. He's all over the eagles. These rare, rarefied eagles.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I guess they should be trying for hole-in-ones. It's far more likely. And then I wanted a local. Wanted one local. And I think Duncan is the right choice.
Duncan?
I don't really know a ton about him. He's only played one tournament so far this year, but he got second place at the NADGT event. Oh, wait, that wasn't even this year. Uh-oh.
Are we going to let him call an audible? And
no, I think he's got a
No. I'm taking it.
Okay. You're still taking him? Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Sure. He's 945 rated. He's right in the mix, and he's a local. I think he could have a great tournament.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not calling it a bad pick for sure, but
yeah,
you just want to steal him from me.
That's right. All right. Well, that gives you your 2 picks. So you're at 4 MPOs. You need 1 more MPO, and you'll need an FPO. So that'll be on your next round there. I'm going for my 4th pick. I've already got my FPO. I got a couple MPOs under my belt.
MPO all the way now.
Yeah. And what I'm thinking of here, and this is where I'm going with this, Chance, is that I'm a big fan of taking 2 power people and putting them together into a power couple, right? Couple. Like, so, if you've got Colleen McInnes and Chris Brown and you can put them together on a team, like that's one of those types of things. If you can get Sophia and Brett on a team, man, exactly. You can get that going. So I've already got K-Swirls on the team. I got another excited person going up there. Someone who throws Firebirds like nobody's business. And those forehand Firebirds, the way, I think he's got 34, 35 aces.
This is where, and I didn't want to bring it up, but this is where the conversation of aces are more common than eagles, because he's got 34, 35 aces.
Yeah.
But he said he's only eagled like 2 or 3 holes.
That's because they're so rare.
But I guess, rare. But I guess that, maybe he didn't realize that aces are eagles. But anyway.
Yeah. So the Firebird King himself will be joining my team, 916 rated out of Edmonton, Alberta. Welcome to the team, Tim Plamondon.
Another person that normally plays MA1, heading up to this event to play MPO. He did win his first MA1 event recently.
Yes.
So that's definitely a good pick. I'm not knocking you on that pick.
And now you got a couple picks to go there?
Yeah. heading it back over to me. So, that's like
Team
full
Shambles.
silent. This is another local. I'm surprised you didn't pick this one up, but again, it's another person that's hasn't played a lot this year. Only been playing since 2022. Going with a 920 rated from Whitehorse, Caden Smith.
All right.
Again, he's another player that I don't know too much about.
Well, I did some research on Caden, and I looked at one of the things is my research sometimes borders on stalking chance because I'm going through Facebook and through Instagram and trying to track things down. And one of the things, Caden placed 6th at last year's event, ready to get on a podium. Looks like, someone with a lot of energy, ready to go. And it's a good local pick, knows the local lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got one more to go
And
there?
then somebody who knows the local line, someone who's played the event last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's from a he's got good credentials with his dad who's plays, and he plays and he won the event last year. This person has another year under their belt. I'm gonna go with Jai Badajoz.
Yeah. So Jai, the one thing I was thinking about him was he made it on lead card one of the rounds last year, so we got to see some of his throws, and he had like some moments of glory in the tournament. It just wasn't consistent, I don't think, across all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But now when you're a young kid and you're starting to grow and you're getting taller and you're getting more muscular and all of those things happening, like you've got a player who's coming into their early prime, right? Like getting into there. So I think, and then also too, you put Jai and Eden together on the same team. You got family power going there.
I don't have Eden.
Oh, no, you don't.
No.
That's right. Haha, you don't have family power. So that brings it back to me, does it?
Mhm.
Yes, that would.
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to go with my local player. I've got someone who knows the course. They've been practicing from Whitehorse, Yukon Territory, 929 rated. Tim Hogan, welcome to Team JPOW. There you go, Daryl. There you go.
There you go.
I think there was a show called Hogan's Heroes, and Tim Hogan is going to be my hero.
There was also a show that had Tim the Toolman Taylor. What is your point?
Well, that was called Home Improvement, and he's going to improve my team
There you go.
while I sit at home and watch. Is that all right? That
Okay,
puts...
just this might be how to clarify the ruling here, because I know we're going to keep
Kevin's
going on about
totally
it.
right.
Kevin
without a
says
doubt, that's how it
if
should be.
eagles are 15 points, an ace should be an eagle plus 10 points, which I think is what I meant to say in the beginning anyway.
Oh, sure.
Mhm.
Well, there's nothing that says we can't change it to that now.
Yeah, I'll speak to Dylan, see if we can get that updated. Maybe, I don't know if we want to change it for this event or wait till the next event, but we can, because,
Well, that's the only way you're going to beat Chance if he's got Luke and Luke's putting in eagles the whole time. And
yeah, well, people can be,
you got to get that
anyone
ace.
can get an ace.
All right. So, all right, getting back to you there, Chance, you've got your MPO, your last one, and you've got an FPO that you need to pick.
Yes.
FPO, I'm going to go with a local here, Brianna Ainsley. She's got a ton of experience. She's toured before, and I don't know if she's been up to the Yukon, but I'm excited to see what she does. I know there's a lot of they're all really similarly rated, which is awesome. I think they're going to have a ton of fun competing against each other, but I think her experience could go a long way up there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I agree with everything that Chance has said.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was, so Brianna Ainsley, so she's out of Squamish as well. And I'm thinking if she's playing that course up in Whistler, I think isn't that one that can beat you down pretty quick? So if that's your home course or one of your home courses, you got to get better or you quit playing. Is that kind of how
for
it
sure?
works?
Yeah, and she's no stranger to playing on mountain courses, so I don't think the Yukon will be that big of a stretch for her, but we'll see.
Right.
And then I got to see
final
who's left.
MPO pick. Yeah.
Took some of my picks here.
And if you do need to know who is left, I've got that in front of me just in case you don't have that for you.
Is Tim Hogan left?
No, he's one of Jeremy's Hogan's heroes.
Just took him. Oh, sorry, I did not update the page here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why I was confused.
Yeah, sorry. There you go.
Okay. What about Dennis? He's not taken, right?
Dennis is still available.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Dennis
you,
is another Masters player,
mhm.
and as a fellow Masters player who likes to play MPO, I kind of find myself rooting for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know too much about them, but I'm definitely going to be following it closely this week. This is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? That fits perfectly into our mantra of this whole reason why we do these fantasy A tiers is, like I say, if you looked at the people who were going to be in this event, maybe Connell, you definitely know Thomas.
Mhm.
You might know Eden or Luke because Luke's getting around. He plays a lot of Western Canadian events and things like that. But once you start dropping down the leaderboard, a lot of these names people haven't heard before. They only get out to one or maybe two events in their local area.
Mhm.
So the fact that we can go this deep down the table and now we're like you said, now you're going to be involved into your team. You're going to be checking PDG Alive just to make sure that your players are playing well.
Yeah,
So,
and with Dennis, as you said, is being in the MP40 side. He was second place in MP40 in the tournament last year, and then the other thing about him is people may not realize that how good this is or how it gets into the good territory is he's ranked 905 in the Global Masters Series, but that's Global Masters
right.
Series. I think when you and I take a look at ours, we're like 4,500 or
Oh, yeah,
4,600
exactly.
rated. So to be getting under 1,000 in there, that's you're heading in the right direction. So good pick for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well that fills out team
Yeah. Team
Money Disc.
Money Disc.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Yeah.
That's right.
Over to me for my last pick.
Oh no, sir.
Oh no, sorry, it's
You
back
might
to
as
you.
well get to me.
But it's okay because you've picked your FPO and I've picked all my MPO, so we're not doubling up.
Oh no, we're okay.
But
so
go ahead.
My player played the Ravens Bowl C tier in Haynes this year and placed third. Rating took a bit of a drop, but that's because they had some higher rated rounds drop off, is what I did. I did some deep dive in that
Okay.
because I know how you really care about where's their rating going.
I like ratings, yeah.
But if you drop off some really high ratings, then sometimes that happens, like kind of what happened.
I don't
with us
always
recently
stand
here.
the ratings and how they get it accomplished, but I that's what I value my picks on.
So I think that this person's rating is underrated, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
So at 933 from Haines, Alaska, we're welcoming Jeremy Reed to the team. And that fits because having a Jeremy on the team is another power move that will help Team J-Pow.
Sure. Yeah. How if that makes you sleep at night, but that's the reason why you picked him. I mean,
there's so many reasons. That's just
yeah,
a
that's
bonus
just one of
reason.
them. Exactly. All right. So now it brings it over to me.
Yes.
To fill out my team, and obviously it's I'm going FPO division because I've got all my MPO players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick a person that knows this course better than probably anybody else.
Right.
Hang on. I'm going to have to interrupt for a second. Is Jeremy Reed still in the tournament? Because he is not showing up on my list.
Oh no! Did I get a drop? Is there only 14 MPOs?
Did you
left
pick
now?
someone who's already dropped?
Because there was 15.
There's
MPOs.
only 14.
Oh no!
Oh no! So he must have dropped off because he was on my list. So he must have just dropped off today.
Yeah. Well, the only question we would say in a situation like this, because there isn't enough players, do I take the hit because the player's not there, or do I get to have the
remaining
FPO? Next FPO? I want to take the audible on the FPO. But
so okay, we can.
I might have taken 2 FPOs.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna have to call on audible, as in, we can't go back and say, okay, now we know there's only 14, and let's repick again.
Yeah.
But I think now that we're at this point, I see there's one or two ways we can. There's one or two ways we can go. We can let me pick the FPO, and then you get the remaining FPO.
Yeah. No, I think that would be the way to go.
As opposed to you taking the FPO
because
first.
I've already picked a player, so you should get your pick.
Okay.
And then I'll take the remaining FPO.
Yeah, that's fair. Because that way we use all the players.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate that I didn't check, because when I checked yesterday, Jeremy was still available.
Night, Jeremy was still playing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll finish what I was saying there about I'm going with the person that's co-TDing the event.
Yes.
Partner to Ryan Norquay. Gonna go with Brienne Livia.
Yeah, good pick for sure.
Nice.
Bree is
Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this, but let me see.
oh, we'll know. It'll
Yeah,
be
there you
okay.
go.
Yeah.
So then you're taking.
So then let me have a little announcement
Yeah,
here.
go ahead.
So
sorry.
Jeremy Reed, I'm sorry that you weren't able to make it to the tournament. I know Haines, Alaska can be quite the hike. It could be tough, maybe, getting across that border and stuff. But I've got a person from Regina, Saskatchewan that's going to join my team. And this person took down the May the Course Be With You tournament out in Saskatchewan. And Chance gets that reference because it's exactly what you think it was. And 838 rated. Shauna Scott, welcome to Team JPOW. And this is a happy turn of events. I'm excited to have 2 FPOs on Team JPOW.
Yeah.
You're guaranteed 2 people in the top 10.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. This is the way it has to be because that's the way, it was an unfortunate turn of events.
Mm-hmm.
Now, looking at it, does that mean that you have a stronger team? Because you're guaranteed
An extra point.
an extra point. I mean, not
Could
that I'm
be
going
more
to
than
argue,
that,
because Jeremy could have finished on the podium, and you could be losing 2 points. So it is, that is the way that it is. But
Do you see your?
I heard he just
come
didn't
on.
want to be on your team.
And he was
dropped
going to
out
be here
when he
as
heard
guest
that.
number 3. That's why we had the screen up there for him, but dropped out of the tournament. He also missed
Dropped-
his spot on the show too.
Exactly. All right. So let me just save those picks,
Okay.
bring them up again. And what we like to do, Chance, is just going to
Do a quick run.
quick recap of our picks.
Because then you get a real feel for your team when you can kind of say them out loud and see all of them there right in front of you. So starting with Team Shambles.
There you go, full screen. There we go. So Team Shambles went first. So I kicked off the proceedings with MPO.
Little known player.
Yeah, he's going to make it big one day. Thomas Gilbert, followed up with Quinn Cochran, Al Hill, Caden Smith, Jai Badajoz, and rounding out my team is Brienne Levia.
And I will tell you, Team Shambles has not won a vote yet when we put it up on Instagram and have everyone vote because, just Team JPOW is such a great picker and so is the team guest.
Oh,
but I
no.
think right now you have a pretty good looking team there too.
So Kevin King seems to be in the know because he says Brienne Levia may not be able to play according to the PDGA. The TD and assistant TD on record can't play in an A tier. She may not be eligible to play.
Well, I think what we might find though in a case like that is that maybe it's Brienne Levia that is the assistant tournament director, but I think it's Bree who's playing in the event. So to me, as far as I know, I think everything's going to be just fine.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, if she does drop or she's not eligible to play for whatever reason, then that's on me. It's exactly the same as a person DNFing halfway through.
Oh yeah.
You get no points for it. So
there you go.
With that few people and that few big tournaments in the area, it's very likely that the PDGA would just give an exception for that player.
Yeah.
So just an aside, because we have somebody that would know this sort of thing, Chance, like who would enforce that? Would that be a PDGA? Is there somebody at the PDGA scouring every event to make sure that a TD doesn't play? Or is it one of the players calling it and informing the PDGA? Like, how does that go?
It
How
can
is that
go either
managed?
way. I don't think they watch it all that closely. They could definitely put something like that in their software, but right now, as far as I'm aware, all that is done manually. So someone would have to go into every tournament to double check. But the TDs are supposed to know better. And the other thing is people just mention it on podcasts and stuff, and then it comes out. So, there's lots of ways it can happen. But honestly, for an event like this, I wouldn't be too surprised if they're just okay with it.
I would think so too. For the Yukon Territorials, that's one thing. They're growing an event and they want to make sure to have people playing, and it's a great way to do it. Now, if we get to a point where we're at like the size of the BC Open, where you've got a professional weekend and you've got a AM weekend, then that may be a whole different story. But
and like you said, Brie Levia is the assistant tournament director, but somebody called Brienne Levia is playing in the event.
So. Yeah, the sisters, I believe.
Yeah.
So then on Team JPOW, we started out with Connell McLeod out of Calgary, Case Swirls, Kristen Swirls out of Edmonton, Jamie Roddick, the sleeper. Thank you, Kevin King, for the help there. Tim Plamondon, the Firebird King, Tim Hogan, my Hogan's hero, and Shauna Scott. May the course be with us this weekend, and we will have a great team.
Yeah, that's good. Good team. And then rounding out the picks, Team Moneyball.
Money disc.
Money Disc, sorry.
Hey, Money Disc.
Money Disc.
I've got the defending champion, a junior with a huge arm who's going to be going for all the Eagles. I got another junior in Cole who is extremely talented, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does up there. Duncan is a local. Brianna has more experience than the other three. And then I've got another semi-local from Alaska, Dennis Durr. So I think these are three pretty even teams. I'm actually really excited to see how this shakes out.
Well, you don't worry, because what we'll do is we'll be chatting you up there through Instagram and making sure you know exactly how your team's doing and how we're going to catch up or what you need to do.
And what you'll find is Jeremy checks the teams and calculates the scores after round one, even though it doesn't matter because scores can fluctuate throughout the weekend. But he always likes to know where he is, and he likes to text me to let me know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, and you know what it is too, is it's just because Daryl doesn't understand that there's a fun component, right? But what we do is we put him in there anyways, then he has to suffer through all the chatter. No, but it's going to be an awesome tournament, larger than life. I'm glad that Ryan's got this going on. And just like with Smith Lake Farms, how, first year was a little bit of a test, a prototype, that kind of thing. And then now you had this big successful event. I think that larger than life is getting there as well. The biggest thing is we would know is it's just, you got to get to Whitehorse, and people think that's a big deal. But what they don't realize is flying from Edmonton, for example, where we are, to Whitehorse is no different than us flying from Edmonton to Vancouver, right? Like it's pretty much an hour type flight. Air North goes up there. It's an easy way to get there. And once more people understand that, I think this one's going to grow.
Yeah.
Also once it starts to be added into my Western Canadian finals that I'm trying to do with Jerry Ann Brownbridge so that we can have a champ for Western Canada to go to nationals.
Yeah.
Once they include the territorials, people will be rushing up there to be part of it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I almost went last year, and if I wasn't so busy with Smith Lake, I was going to sign up this year. I've actually always wanted to go to the Yukon. My parents were living up there when my mom got pregnant. And so, my mom was a waitress in the bar in Whitehorse, basically. My dad was a bouncer and a gold miner.
Wow.
Okay.
And they told me all sorts of stories about it, and I've wanted to go my whole life. So hopefully I'll be able to make it up there next year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, that's cool.
One thing I just wanted to shout out before we move on, Jeremy, because I know you're going to close things up.
Don't
forget that if you are listening and you want to make your own picks, you can head over to Chain Out Podcast. You'll be presented with this screen right here. Once you sign up, just click on the top of the page here. You'll see where it says tournaments. It'll bring up the larger than life event here on the left-hand side. When you click view details, it's going to give you the option to select your 3 MPO players and your 3 FPO players, because obviously there's no snake draft. You don't have any rules or regulations. You can pick freely. Then you'll enter your MPO winning score and your FPO winning score. Those are just for tie breaks, I think, and closest to, if you hit the nail on the head, if you get the prediction right, you get extra points for that. Once you have completed that, if you head back, I don't know if I'll be able to show you because I need to make picks. Let me see.
What about to the leaderboard or no?
Yeah, no, it's not the leaderboard. It'll be under view community picks, but I won't be able to do that until I show you.
Until we do our picks here, which we'll do after the show.
But head over there, make your picks. You'll be involved in the Chain Out Podcast.
Yeah.
Like you said, after at the halfway point, we will have some giveaways. We felt it was a little bit unfair because the first event that we did, we kind of rolled out as a soft launch, so not everybody was aware of it. But from the midpoint on to the end of the season, we'll have a big giveaway for the end of the season as well. So get involved.
Yes. And also, Two Chance, as we have you on, we're so happy to have you back on, and so good to hear that Smith Lake was a great success. Is there anything that you've got coming up or anything else you want to shout out? We know you have your discs. You still have more of those available if people want them.
I've still got some left. Yeah, people can reach out to me. I'm just trying to play some tournaments, get healthy again this year. I don't have anything too big going on now that Smith Lake's over. I do want to give a shout out to that Sophia and Thomas shirt up there. Thomas and Sophia are going to represent Canada this year at the World Games in China, and they're selling those shirts to try and raise some funds. So if anyone's interested, you can reach out to either of them or me, and we'll try and get you a shirt.
Perfect.
There you go.
Now, are we going to see it? Last year, I got a chance to catch up with you, Daryl, and I did at Falcons Flight. Are you going to be out there again this year? Is that on your list, or?
Probably not. I really hope I can find a way to swing it, but I have a feeling I'm going to be in Toronto at that time, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Chance. And Daryl, how you want to wrap this one up?
Just want to wish you both good luck.
Mhm.
You're going to need it. Mr. Big Tommy G is going to be taking down the win, so I know I've got that locked in, and he'll be getting all the aces and all the eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Well, good luck on that, Team Shambles.
Here you
Team
go.
Money Disc and Team JPOW will make sure to keep you well informed of where all the teams are at all times this weekend.
There you go. Yeah,
Sounds
and like
great.
Jeremy said, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for agreeing to do this, Chance. We'll keep you involved throughout the week, and I'm sure we'll
Sounds
be
good.
talking to you again soon.
Yeah, anytime.
Awesome.
Talk to you
Sounds
later.
good. We'll see you later.
See ya.